Victorian England was a land of breathtaking contrasts, nowhere more starkly displayed than during the Christmas season of 1853. While workhouse children across London treasured single oranges as their entire Christmas fruit, so precious it cost a full day's wages for a poor family, the children of Britain's elite awakened each December morning to abundance that defied imagination. The gaslit streets of Belgravia and Mayfair glowed with prosperity, their elegant townhouses transformed into winter wonderlands, while just miles away, the grey walls of institutions like St. Bartholomew's Workhouse contained hundreds of children who would consider one piece of fresh fruit the greatest miracle of their young lives. This was an age when social hierarchy determined not just your station in life, but the very nature of joy itself. The same season that brought workhouse children their annual orange and pair of stockings brought wealthy children rooms filled with presents from Paris toy makers, elaborate musical entertainments, and Christmas feasts that cost more than entire families would see in years. While poor children scrubbed floors with frozen hands and dreamed of pudding for dinner, their privileged counterparts selected from wardrobes of silk and velvet, attended opera performances, and complained only about which of their many gifts pleased them most. These two Christmas realities existed side by side in the same city, creating Victorian England's defining paradox of unprecedented prosperity alongside desperate poverty. The wealthy lived in complete abundance, while remaining largely oblivious to the struggles happening just streets away. Now, let's step into the silk slippers of one such privileged child and experience Christmas as only Victorian high society could celebrate it, with unlimited resources, cultural sophistication, and the comfortable assumption that abundance was simply the natural order of things. Get yourself comfortable. Adjust your position just so, because this story of Christmas luxury and unconscious privilege is worth settling in for. You wake on a crisp November morning in your nursery, the fourth floor of your family's Belgravia mansion, to find frost painting delicate patterns across the tall windows. Your lady's maid, Sarah, has already stoked the fire in your marble fireplace, and the room glows with warmth that poor children across London will never know. The Persian rugs beneath your feet are thick enough to muffle your steps as you pad to the window in your silk nightgown, looking down at the cobblestone streets where servants hurry past with market baskets. "Miss Eleanor," Sarah announces with a curtsy, "your mother requests your presence in the morning room after breakfast. Christmas planning is to begin today." Your heart leaps with excitement. Unlike the workhouse children who will spend their mornings scrubbing floors with frozen hands, you will spend yours in the elegant morning room with its pale blue silk wallpaper and gilt-framed portraits, discussing the elaborate preparations for the most magical season of the year. At breakfast, served on Wedgwood china in the sunny breakfast room, you spread thick butter and imported jam on warm croissants, while your governess, Miss Hartford, reads excerpts from the Times about Queen Victoria's own Christmas preparations at Windsor Castle. Your father, dressed impeccably in his morning coat, discusses business matters with your mother over coffee served in delicate porcelain cups. The conversation turns to guest lists, menu planning, and the logistics of transforming your already magnificent home into a Christmas wonderland. Your mother, elegant in her morning dress of dove grey silk, produces leather-bound journals filled with notes from previous year's celebrations. "We must begin with the decorations," she says, her voice cultured and refined. "The evergreen garlands must be ordered from Scotland. Only the finest Highland spruce will do. And we shall need twice as many candles as last year for the chandelier displays." You listen with growing anticipation, understanding that your family's Christmas will cost more than most families see in several years. The planning session continues through the morning. Lists are made for the kitchen staff. Turtle soup, roasted peacock, venison from your family's Scottish estate, exotic fruits from the colonies, and elaborate puddings that will require days of preparation. Your mother discusses wine selections with your father, champagne from France, port from Portugal, brandy for the Christmas pudding that will be aged for weeks. Every detail reflects the wealth and status your family has accumulated through generations of successful banking ventures. By afternoon, you're accompanying your mother and her lady's maid to Harrods to begin the Christmas shopping. The family carriage, upholstered in burgundy velvet with brass fittings polished to mirror brightness, carries you through streets lined with gas lamps already being lit against the early winter dusk. Through the carriage windows, you observe street vendors selling roasted chestnuts, and observe how different your warm, cushioned journey is from the pedestrians hurrying along the cold pavements in threadbare coats. The first week of December transforms your home into something from a fairy tale. You wake each morning to new wonders appearing throughout the mansion's 37 rooms. Teams of servants, coordinated with military precision by your mother and the head housekeeper, Mrs. Patterson, work tirelessly to create Christmas magic that wealthy Victorian families expect. Your day begins with chocolate, served in bed-reel chocolate from Belgium, rich and sweet, accompanied by delicate biscuits baked fresh in your family's kitchen. As you dress in a warm wool dress of deep emerald green with ivory lace trim, you can hear the sounds of transformation beginning throughout the house. Footsteps on marble floors, muffled conversations as servants receive their daily instructions, and the occasional sound of furniture being moved to accommodate the Christmas decorations. After lessons with Miss Hartford in the schoolroom today, focusing on French conversation and watercolour painting of winter landscapes, you're allowed to observe the decoration process. The main staircase, with its carved mahogany banister and crystal chandelier, is being wrapped in evergreen garlands, interwoven with gold silk ribbons. Each garland is perfect, each bow precisely tied, creating an effect of casual elegance that actually requires hours of meticulous work. The drawing room receives the most elaborate treatment. A magnificent Christmas tree, nearly 12 feet tall and selected personally by your father from hundreds of candidates, stands in the corner near the marble fireplace. You watch in wonder as servants carefully arrange ornaments that represent more wealth than workhouse children will see in their lifetimes. Delicate glass balls blown in Germany and painted with scenes of angels and winter landscapes, strings of real pearls that catch the light like captured starlight, miniature musical instruments carved from precious woods, and dozens of small silver bells that tinkle softly with every breath of air. The library, your favourite room, with its floor-to-ceiling shelves filled with leather-bound volumes, receives garlands of holly with bright red berries, while white candles in silver holders are placed on every available surface. The dining room's massive mahogany table disappears under arrangements of winter flowers, white roses from your family's hothouses, exotic blooms imported from warmer climates, and branches of flowering quince, forced to bloom early in the conservatory. Your nursery, too, receives special attention. A smaller Christmas tree, just your size, is placed near the window where you can see it from your bed. This tree is decorated specifically for you. Tiny dolls in elaborate dresses, miniature books with real pages, small animals carved from ivory, and sweets wrapped in silver paper. The contrast with children who will treasure a single orange is lost on you. This abundance is simply your normal world, expanded for Christmas. Evening brings the lighting ceremony for the main tree. Your entire family gathers in the drawing room, dressed in their finest evening clothes. Your father, dignified in his black evening coat and white tie, lights the first candle, while your mother, resplendent in burgundy silk with diamonds at her throat, watches with satisfaction. As each candle is lit, the tree transforms into something magical, the flames reflected in the glass ornaments and casting dancing shadows on the silk-papered walls. Your shopping expeditions begin with elaborate preparations that poor families could never imagine. Your lady's maid spends an hour arranging your hair in perfect ringlets, secured with silk ribbons that match your outfit. A velvet coat of midnight blue with a fur-trimmed hood, leather boots polished to gleaming perfection, and kid gloves so fine they feel like a second skin. A fur muff, warmed by the fire before your departure, completes your ensemble and serves as both fashion statement and practical necessity in London's December cold. The family carriage, pulled by perfectly matched bay horses with brass harnesses gleaming in the winter sunlight, carries you through streets that serve as a catalogue of Victorian social hierarchy. You pass flower girls selling buttonholes to gentlemen, crossing sweepers clearing paths for well-dressed pedestrians, and elegant shops with windows displaying treasures that represent months or years of working-class wages. Harrods, that temple of Victorian commerce, receives your family like visiting royalty. The doorman, resplendent in his uniform with gold braid, bows deeply as he opens the heavy glass doors. Inside, the store glows with gaslight and gleams with polished wood fixtures, crystal display cases, and carpeted floors that muffle the sound of shoppers' footsteps. The Christmas displays are breathtaking. Entire rooms recreated as winter wonderlands, mechanical toys that move and play music, dolls dressed in miniature versions of the latest Paris fashions. Your mother confers with department supervisors who know your family by name and remember your preferences from previous visits. Miss Eleanor has grown so much this year, observes the toy department manager, producing a ledger that tracks your family's purchases. Perhaps we might interest her in something more sophisticated. This mechanical theatre from Germany performs complete scenes from popular operas. The toy department overwhelms you with choices that would seem impossible to children who dream of single oranges. Elaborate dollhouses complete with miniature furniture, china, tea sets, working model trains, sets of toy soldiers in perfect military formation, mechanical horses that gallop when wound, and music boxes that play complex melodies while tiny figures dance. Each item represents craftsmanship and expense that places them far beyond the reach of ordinary families. Your parents encourage you to think beyond your own desires, teaching you the aristocratic art of gift-giving within your social circle. What might your cousin Margaret enjoy? Your mother asks, guiding you toward display cases filled with jewellery appropriate for young ladies. Lockets engraved with delicate patterns, chains of real gold, brooches set with semi-precious stones. These lessons in thoughtfulness, conducted amid such abundance, are fundamentally different from the gratitude lessons learned by workhouse children who treasure single pieces of fruit. The book department captivates you with its leather-bound volumes, many illustrated with hand-coloured engravings. Sets of fairy tales from Germany, adventure stories about exotic lands, volumes of poetry bound in Morocco leather with gold-edged pages, and educational books about natural history, geography, and the arts. Your governess selects several volumes to supplement your education, while you choose stories that will transport you to imaginary worlds during long winter evenings. The confectionery department dazzles with sweets that represent pure luxury. Chocolates from Belgium arranged in silk-lined boxes, candied fruits from Mediterranean countries, marzipan shaped into perfect miniature sculptures, and elaborate sugarwork that creates edible art. The proprietor personally serves your family, offering samples on silver trays while describing the origins and special qualities of each confection. The creation of your Christmas wardrobe begins weeks before the holiday, involving skilled seamstresses, expensive fabrics, and attention to detail that reflects your family's position in society. Your morning begins with a carriage ride to Madame Dubois' exclusive dressmaking establishment in Mayfair, where society ladies have their clothing created by artisans who understand that fashion is a form of communication about wealth and status. Madame Dubois' salon occupies 3 floors of a Georgian townhouse, each room decorated with gilt mirrors, silk-upholstered chairs, and displays of the finest fabrics imported from across Europe. The atmosphere is hushed and refined, with soft conversations conducted in multiple languages as wealthy mothers and daughters discuss their requirements with seamstresses who treat clothing creation as high art. Your mother confers with Madame Dubois about your Christmas dress requirements while you stand patiently as assistants take detailed measurements. Miss Eleanor will need 3 formal dresses for the Christmas season, your mother explains. 1 for Christmas Eve dinner, 1 for Christmas Day, and 1 for the Boxing Day reception. Each must be appropriate for her age, while reflecting the family's standards. The fabric selection process reveals the wealth involved in upper-class clothing. Bolts of silk from China, velvet from Italy, lace from Belgium, and wool, so fine it feels like silk, are displayed for your consideration. The deep green silk chosen for your Christmas Eve dress shimmers, with woven gold threads that catch light like captured sunshine. The Christmas Day dress will be crafted from burgundy velvet with ivory lace trim, while the Boxing Day outfit features midnight blue silk with silver embroidery. Fittings require multiple visits, as each dress is constructed to fit perfectly. You stand motionless while seamstresses pin, adjust, and refine every seam. The Christmas Eve dress receives particular attention. The bodice fitted precisely to your young figure, the sleeves shaped to allow graceful movement, the skirt cut to fall in perfect folds that will move elegantly as you walk. Hand-sewn beadwork adds sparkle to the neckline, while tiny pearl buttons march up the back in perfectly aligned rows. Accessories require equal attention. Your mother selects silk stockings, so fine they're nearly transparent, leather shoes crafted by London's finest bootmakers, and gloves made from the softest kid leather. Hair ornaments are chosen to complement each outfit. Silk ribbons, small jewelled pins appropriate for young ladies, and delicate combs carved from ivory and inlaid with mother of pearl. The undergarments alone represent more expense than most families see in months. Chemises of finest linen, petticoats with multiple layers of silk and cotton, corsets designed specifically for growing girls, and drawers trimmed with handmade lace. Every piece is embroidered with your monogram in silk thread, marking these intimate garments as belonging to a person of significant social standing. Your Christmas shoes receive particular attention from Mr. Pemberton, London's most exclusive children's bootmaker. Each pair is crafted specifically for your feet, using leather so supple it feels like fabric. The Christmas Eve shoes are made from midnight blue silk to match your dress, with small heels appropriate for dancing and tiny silver buckles that catch candlelight. Christmas Day shoes are crafted from burgundy leather with decorative stitching in gold thread. The final fitting reveals your transformation from an everyday wealthy child to a vision of Christmas elegance. Standing before the full-length mirror in Madame Dubois' fitting room, you see reflected a young lady who embodies the Victorian ideal of refined childhood privilege. Your dress fits perfectly, your accessories complement without overwhelming, and your overall appearance communicates both innocence and sophisticated upbringing. Your musical education intensifies during the Christmas season, as wealthy Victorian families expect their children to provide entertainment during holiday gatherings. Your day begins with vocal exercises in the music room, a elegant space on the second floor featuring a grand piano imported from Vienna, silk-upholstered chairs, and acoustics designed to showcase musical performances. Signor Benedetti, your Italian music master, arrives each morning dressed impeccably in a black frock coat and carrying a leather portfolio filled with sheet music. His approach to musical education reflects the Victorian belief that cultural refinement separates the upper classes from their social inferiors. Music, cara mia, he explains in his melodious accent, is the language of the cultivated soul. Your Christmas performances will demonstrate your family's commitment to the highest forms of artistic expression. Your vocal training begins with breathing exercises and scales, performed while standing perfectly straight with hands clasped behind your back. Signor Benedetti corrects your posture with gentle touches, shoulders back, chin lifted, breathing from the diaphragm rather than the chest. These technical fundamentals, practiced daily for months, create the foundation for performances that will impress your parents' sophisticated guests. The Christmas repertoire chosen for your performances represents a careful balance between religious devotion, cultural sophistication, and age-appropriate material. Sacred pieces include Angels We Have Heard on High, arranged for solo voice with piano accompaniment, Handel's He Shall Feed His Flock, simplified for a young soprano, and traditional carols harmonized in the Italian style. Secular pieces feature art songs by contemporary composers, folk melodies, arranged with sophisticated accompaniments, and excerpts from popular operas adapted for young voices. Piano lessons with Miss Pemberton, the daughter of a renowned concert pianist, focus on developing technical precision and musical interpretation. Your small hands work through scales, arpeggios, and etudes designed to build strength and agility. The Christmas pieces selected for piano performance include Chopin nocturnes, simplified for developing techniques, Bach inventions that demonstrate classical training, and popular waltzes that will accompany family dancing during holiday parties. The music room becomes your practice sanctuary, where hours of daily rehearsal refine your performances to professional standards. Your family's commitment to your musical education is evident in the quality of instruments available. The grand piano tuned weekly by London's finest technician, a small harp for learning basic technique, and various chamber instruments for ensemble, playing with visiting musicians. Your Christmas performance dress rehearsals involve the entire household staff as audience. Standing beside the piano in one of your new dresses, you perform your complete Christmas repertoire, while servants pause in their duties to listen. Mrs. Patterson, the head housekeeper, wipes tears from her eyes during your rendition of Silent Night, while your parents exchange satisfied glances at your progress. The performance skills you're developing extend beyond mere technical proficiency to include stage presence, emotional expression, and the ability to engage sophisticated audiences. Signor Benedetti coaches you in the subtle arts of musical communication, how to use facial expressions to convey the meaning of lyrics, how to gesture gracefully without disrupting vocal technique, and how to recover elegantly from minor mistakes without losing your composure. Chamber music lessons introduce you to ensemble playing with professional musicians, hired to provide advanced musical education. A violinist from the London Symphony Orchestra visits weekly to coach you in piano-violin duets, while a cellist teaches you to provide sensitive accompaniment to string melodies. These collaborations develop your musical listening skills, while exposing you to performance standards that far exceed amateur music making. Christmas Eve morning arrives with ceremony and anticipation that builds throughout your grand home like gathering excitement before a theatrical performance. You wake before dawn, unusual for a child accustomed to leisurely mornings, drawn from sleep by the sounds of heightened household activity and your own barely contained excitement. Through your nursery windows, London spreads below in the grey pre-dawn light, the city awakening to its own Christmas Eve preparations. While you prepare for yours in luxury, they cannot imagine. Sarah appears at your bedside with particular ceremony, carrying a silver tray bearing hot chocolate in delicate porcelain cups, fresh croissants from your family's kitchen, and winter roses from the conservatory arranged in a crystal vase. "Happy Christmas Eve, Miss Eleanor," she says with unusual warmth in her typically formal manner. Even the servants understand that this day differs from all others, that the careful preparations of weeks will culminate in celebrations that define your family's place in Victorian society. Your bath preparation becomes an elaborate ritual. The marble bathroom, heated by radiating pipes filled with hot water from the basement boilers, fills with steam as Sarah adds rose oil and bath salts imported from France to water, maintained at perfect temperature by constant additions of hot water from copper jugs. You soak in luxury that poor children could never imagine. Hot water on demand, scented oils, towels warmed by the fire, and privacy attended by servants whose sole concern is your comfort. The selection of your Christmas Eve morning dress requires careful consideration, as you'll be receiving visitors throughout the day before changing into your formal evening gown for dinner. Your mother joins you in your dressing room to oversee the selection, treating the choice with seriousness that reflects how clothing communicates social position. "The burgundy wool, I think," she decides, examining the dresses Sarah has laid out, with the ivory lace collar and your grandmother's pearl earrings. Elegant, but not overly formal for morning activities. Breakfast becomes a celebration in itself. Served in the morning room, where winter sunlight streams through tall windows draped in silk curtains. The table, usually set for family members, today accommodates visiting relatives who have arrived for the Christmas celebrations. Your cousins Margaret and James, children of your father's brother, chatter excitedly about their journey from the family's Yorkshire estate, while their parents discuss plans for the evening's festivities with your mother and father. The morning's activities centre around final preparations for the evening's grand dinner party. You accompany your mother on her final inspection tour of the main floor rooms, observing as she ensures that every detail meets her exacting standards. In the dining room, the massive mahogany table stretches beneath elaborate centerpieces of winter flowers, crystal stemware, and silver serving pieces that reflect the light from the recently installed gasoliers. Place cards written in your mother's elegant script mark seating arrangements, calculated to facilitate interesting conversation among the evening's distinguished guests. The drawing room has been transformed into a winter wonderland that exceeds even your expectations. The Christmas tree, magnificent in daylight, promises even greater magic once the evening candles are lit. Presents, wrapped in silk papers and tied with silk ribbons, create colourful arrangements beneath the tree, each gift representing thoughtful selection and considerable expense. Your own gifts to family members, chosen during your shopping expeditions and wrapped by your lady's maid in papers coordinate with your family's Christmas colour scheme, add to the display. Your morning lessons with Miss Hartford take on Christmas themes while maintaining educational rigour. Geography focuses on the origins of Christmas traditions from various countries, while history explores the development of Christmas celebrations through different historical periods. Literature features readings from Dickens's Christmas stories, providing glimpses into how other social classes experience the holiday while reinforcing your understanding of your privileged position. The arrival of additional family members transforms your home into a hub of upper-class social activity. Grandmama arrives from her London townhouse in a carriage laden with gifts and attended by her personal maid, while Uncle Charles brings news of the family's business interests and political connections. Each arrival is celebrated with ceremony appropriate to their status, as your household staff demonstrates the well-rehearsed rituals of upper-class hospitality. As afternoon shadows lengthen across your family's London mansion, the transformation from morning anticipation to evening grandeur begins with elaborate preparation that rivals theatrical productions in complexity and attention to detail. The entire household moves with purposeful energy as your Christmas Eve dinner party approaches, an event that will demonstrate your family's wealth, taste, and social connections to carefully selected guests, representing the pinnacle of Victorian society. Your afternoon is spent in final preparation under Sarah's meticulous care. The ritual of dressing for a formal Victorian Christmas Eve dinner requires nearly 2 hours, beginning with a bath scented with lavender oil and proceeding through layers of undergarments, the careful arrangement of your hair in elaborate curls, secured with silk ribbons and tiny pearl pins, and finally the donning of your Christmas Eve dress. A masterpiece of midnight blue silk with silver embroidery that catches candlelight like captured starlight. Standing before your full-length mirror as Sarah makes final adjustments to your appearance, you see reflected the ideal of wealthy Victorian childhood, perfectly groomed, exquisitely dressed, and prepared to fulfill your role in sophisticated adult society while maintaining the charming innocence expected of well-bred children. Your silk stockings and kid leather shoes complete an ensemble that costs more than most working families see in years. The dining room has been transformed into a vision of Christmas elegance that reflects your family's position at the apex of London society. The massive mahogany table, extended to accommodate 24 guests, gleams with polish applied by servants working since dawn. Crystal glasses, different shapes for champagne, white wine, red wine, port, and brandy create prismatic displays at each place setting, while silverware polished to mirror brightness flanks china plates decorated with your family's coat of arms, centerpieces of winter flowers, white roses, forced to bloom in your conservatory, exotic blooms imported from warmer climates, and evergreen branches from Scotland, alternate with silver candelabra bearing dozens of candles that will transform the room into a wonderland of flickering light once lit. The effect combines natural beauty with obvious expense, communicating your family's ability to command resources that create beauty regardless of cost. Your guests arrive in a parade of elegant carriages that deposit London's social elite at your front door. Ladies emerge in gowns of silk and velvet, their jewels glittering in gaslight from the street lamps, while gentlemen wear evening dress that represents the pinnacle of masculine fashion. Your role as the evening progresses is to charm these sophisticated adults while demonstrating the accomplishments that mark you as a properly educated young lady of good family. Dinner begins with ceremony that poor families could never imagine. A small army of servants, coordinated by your family's butler with military precision, serves multiple courses that represent culinary artistry and expense far beyond ordinary imagination. Clear turtle soup served in delicate bowls, followed by fish courses featuring sole and turbot, prepared with elaborate sauces, then meat courses, including roasted peacock, beef from your family's estates, and venison that represents both wealth and aristocratic tradition. Each course arrives accompanied by wines selected from your family's extensive cellars, served in appropriate glasses by servants trained to anticipate guests' needs without intrusive attention. Conversation flows around topics that reflect your guests' education, travel, and cultural sophistication. Recent exhibitions at the Royal Academy, political developments affecting business interests, social gossip about mutual acquaintances, and discussions of literature, music, and theatre that assume familiarity with the finest cultural productions. Your own contributions to dinner conversation demonstrate your education and breeding while maintaining appropriate childish charm. When asked about your recent reading, you discuss Tennyson's poetry with intelligent appreciation, while questions about your musical studies lead to requests for after-dinner performances that will showcase your accomplishments. These exchanges teach you the social skills necessary for your future role in upper-class society while providing entertainment for your parents' guests. The final courses of dinner reach heights of luxury that would seem fictional to working-class families. Elaborate puddings created by your family's cook using techniques learned in France, tropical fruits that represent the British Empire's global reach, and confections that demonstrate artistic creativity combined with expensive ingredients. Port and brandy accompany these final courses, while ladies prepare to withdraw to the drawing room for coffee and conversation, leaving gentlemen to discuss business and politics over cigars and more substantial drinks. Your evening performance, carefully prepared through weeks of lessons with Signor Benedetti, provides entertainment that demonstrates your family's commitment to cultural refinement. Standing beside the grand piano in the drawing room, now lit entirely by candles that create magical atmosphere, you perform Christmas carols and art songs that showcase both your musical education and your poise before sophisticated audiences. The applause and compliments that follow reflect not just appreciation for your abilities, but recognition of your family's investment in your proper development as a young lady of quality. Christmas morning dawns with magic that transforms your already luxurious world into something approaching fantasy. You wake not to harsh commands or cold dormitories, but to gentle sounds of household activity muffled by thick carpets and heavy drapes, and to the delicious anticipation of discoveries that await in rooms throughout your family's mansion. Through frost-etched windows, London sparkles under fresh snow that has fallen during the night, creating a Christmas card scene that frames your awakening to the most anticipated day of the year. Sarah appears at your bedside carrying hot chocolate and warm croissants on a silver tray, her usually formal demeanour softened by the holiday spirit that affects even the most proper servants on Christmas morning. "Happy Christmas, Miss Eleanor," she says, with genuine warmth, drawing back your bed curtains to reveal a world transformed by overnight snowfall. Your parents request that you join them in the drawing room after breakfast, but first, there's something special waiting in your nursery. Your nursery has been transformed overnight by Christmas magic that combines parental love with unlimited resources. Your personal Christmas tree, positioned near the window where morning light illuminates its decorations, has sprouted presents like colourful fruit, wrapped packages in silk papers and tied with ribbons that coordinate with your family's Christmas decorating scheme and create artistic arrangements that represent thoughtful selection combined with generous spending. Each package holds surprises chosen specifically for your interests and development as a young lady of refinement. The unwrapping begins immediately, a private celebration before joining your parents for the family's formal Christmas morning ritual. Your first package reveals a doll from Paris, exquisitely crafted with a bisque head, glass eyes that open and close, and a complete wardrobe of miniature dresses that replicate the latest French fashions in perfect detail. Her tiny accessories include underwear trimmed with real lace, leather shoes that actually fit her small feet, and jewelry appropriate for a fashionable doll's sophisticated lifestyle. Subsequent packages reveal the breadth of gifts that wealthy parents provide for their children's Christmas pleasure. A set of watercolours with real sable brushes and papers imported from Italy, books bound in Morocco leather with gold-edged pages and hand-coloured illustrations, a jewellery box lined with velvet that plays a Chopin waltz when opened, and a mechanical horse that gallops when wound with a golden key. Each gift represents craftsmanship and expense that places it far beyond the reach of ordinary families. Your Christmas morning dress, selected specifically for the holiday, reflects both celebration and appropriate formality for family Christmas rituals. The burgundy velvet, cut in the latest style for fashionable young ladies, features ivory lace trim and tiny pearl buttons that catch light from the nursery's fire. Sarah arranges your hair in elaborate curls secured with silk ribbons, while your grandmother's pearl earrings add elegance appropriate for Christmas morning in a wealthy household. Descending the grand staircase to join your parents creates a moment of pure Christmas theatre. The marble steps, decorated with evergreen garlands and red silk ribbons, provide a dramatic backdrop for your entrance into the drawing room where your family awaits. Your parents, dressed in their finest mourning clothes, stand beside the magnificent Christmas tree that has grown even more magical overnight, with the addition of lit candles that transform ornaments into glittering jewels. The drawing room has become a wonderland that exceeds even your heightened expectations. Presents arranged beneath the tree create colourful mountains that represent weeks of careful shopping and thoughtful selection. Your parents' gifts to each other reflect their sophisticated tastes and substantial means: jewellery, artwork, first edition books, and luxury items that demonstrate their refined appreciation for beautiful objects. Extended family members, staying as house guests, add their contributions to the display of generosity and good taste. Your parents' approach to Christmas morning combines genuine affection with educational opportunities about gracious living and appropriate responses to abundance. Your father, distinguished in his burgundy velvet smoking jacket, serves as master of ceremonies for the gift-giving ritual, reading cards and ensuring that each recipient appreciates the thoughtfulness behind every selection. Your mother, elegant in a morning gown of deep green silk, observes your responses to gifts with satisfaction at your proper expressions of gratitude and delight. The formal unwrapping proceeds with ceremony that poor families could never imagine. Each gift is opened slowly, with appropriate appreciation expressed for the giver's thoughtfulness before proceeding to the next package. Your responses are carefully observed, teaching you the social skills necessary for gracious acceptance of good fortune while maintaining humility appropriate to your upbringing. These lessons in gratitude and grace will serve throughout your life in upper-class society. Your major gifts represent your parents' commitment to your development as an accomplished young lady. A writing desk equipped with everything necessary for proper correspondence, including monogram stationery, sealing wax, and pens with gold nibs. A complete set of classic literature bound in leather for your personal library, art supplies of professional quality for developing your creative talents, and musical scores for advancing your piano studies under professional instruction. The afternoon of Christmas Day transforms your family's mansion into a stage for displaying wealth, cultural refinement, and social connections that define your position in Victorian London's elite society. Unlike workhouse children, who might have an hour of supervised play if they've been good, your Christmas Day unfolds as a series of orchestrated social events designed to reinforce family status while providing appropriate entertainment for a young lady of quality. Your Christmas Day outfit represents the pinnacle of children's fashion, selected to communicate your family's taste and resources while maintaining age-appropriate charm. The deep emerald silk dress, cut in the latest style with a fitted bodice and full skirt supported by multiple petticoats, features hand-embroidered details that required weeks of skilled needlework. Accessories include kid leather gloves, silk stockings so fine they're nearly transparent, and jewellery appropriate for a well-bred young lady. Your grandmother's pearl necklace and matching earrings that represent family heritage as well as substantial value. Morning church service at St. George's, Hanover Square provides the first public display of your family's Christmas splendour. Your arrival at the fashionable Anglican church, attended by London's most prominent families, creates an opportunity to observe and be observed by others of similar social standing. The church service itself, featuring elaborate music and flowers that reflect the congregation's wealth, provides religious observance appropriate to your family's position, while reinforcing social hierarchies through carefully maintained seating arrangements. Your behaviour during church service demonstrates the deportment lessons that have shaped your public presentation: perfect posture, attentive listening to the sermon, participation in hymn singing that showcases your musical training, and gracious acknowledgement of acquaintances without inappropriate familiarity. These public appearances serve as informal examinations of your progress toward becoming an accomplished young lady capable of representing your family in sophisticated society. The post-church social interactions provide lessons in upper-class networking disguised as friendly conversation. Your parents exchange Christmas greetings with business associates, political connections, and social peers, while you practice the conversational skills that will serve throughout your life in elite circles. Questions about your education, musical progress, and reading interests allow you to display accomplishments while maintaining appropriate modesty about your advantages. Returning home for Christmas dinner introduces you to entertaining on a scale that demonstrates your family's hospitality and resources. The dining room, prepared by an army of servants working since dawn, represents the pinnacle of Victorian domestic luxury. The table, extended to accommodate visiting relatives and close friends, gleams with silver service, crystal glassware, and china that bears your family's coat of arms. Centerpieces of exotic flowers and elaborate candelabra create artistic displays that combine natural beauty with obvious expense. Christmas dinner itself unfolds as a succession of courses that would feed workhouse families for weeks, beginning with clear consoms served in delicate bowls, progressing through fish courses featuring varieties imported from Scotland and France, continuing with roasted meats including goose, beef, and venison from your family's estates, and concluding with elaborate puddings, tropical fruits, and confections that represent culinary artistry combined with unlimited budgets. Each course arrives accompanied by wines selected from cellars that represent decades of collecting and considerable investment. Your role during Christmas dinner combines charming your parents' guests while demonstrating accomplishments that reflect well on your education and breeding. Conversations about recent reading allow you to discuss literature with intelligence beyond your years, while questions about musical studies provide opportunities to mention upcoming performances and recent progress with your masters. These exchanges teach social skills necessary for your future position while providing entertainment that justifies your presence at adult gatherings. The afternoon entertainment program showcases your family's commitment to cultural refinement and their ability to command performances by professional artists. Musical entertainment might feature a string quartet performing in the drawing room, while your own contributions demonstrate the accomplishments expected of well-educated young ladies. Your piano performance of Christmas carols arranged in sophisticated harmonizations, or vocal presentations of art songs that showcase your training with Signor Benedetti provide evidence of your proper development while entertaining sophisticated audiences. Evening activities conclude Christmas Day with social rituals that reinforce your family's connections within London's elite society. Receiving calls from other prominent families or making visits to relatives and close friends provides opportunities to display Christmas finery while observing how other wealthy families celebrate the holiday. These social exchanges teach you the complex etiquette that governs upper-class interactions, while reinforcing your understanding of your privileged position in society's hierarchy. Your Christmas Day experiences, from morning church service through evening social visits, create memories of abundance, refinement, and social prominence that will shape your expectations for all future holidays. The contrast with children, who treasure single oranges, never enters your consciousness. This level of celebration and luxury simply represents normal Christmas experience for someone of your social position, creating assumptions about appropriate holiday celebrations that will influence your entire life. Boxing Day morning introduces you to the Victorian concept of noblesse oblige through carefully orchestrated charitable activities that combine genuine goodwill with social education about class distinctions and your family's responsibilities toward those less fortunate. Unlike your Christmas morning awakening to personal abundance, Boxing Day begins with preparation for giving. Though even this charity demonstrates your family's wealth and superior social position, your Boxing Day dress reflects the serious nature of charitable visits while maintaining appropriate elegance for a young lady of quality. The deep plum wool dress, cut with modest lines suitable for visiting institutions but crafted from expensive fabric, communicates both respectability and social status. A warm cape lined with ermine provides protection against December cold, while displaying the luxury that distinguishes your family from both the recipients of charity and the middle-class donors who cannot afford such elegant, philanthropic attire. The morning begins with your family's traditional distribution of Christmas boxes to household servants, a ritual that demonstrates benevolence while reinforcing social hierarchies. In the servants' hall, usually forbidden territory for family members, you observe as your father presents each employee with an envelope containing money, and your mother distributes gifts selected to show appreciation for faithful service. Cook receives a silver serving spoon engraved with her initials, while Sarah is presented with a silk shawl that reflects her elevated position as your personal maid. Your participation in this ceremony teaches important lessons about the relationships that maintain your comfortable existence. You present small gifts to the younger servants' handkerchiefs, embroidered with their initials for the kitchen maids and illustrated books for the footmen who can read. These exchanges demonstrate your family's paternalistic care for employees, while establishing patterns of gracious condescension that you'll employ throughout your life in dealings with social inferiors. The carriage journey to St. Bartholomew's Workhouse provides your first glimpse into London's geography of poverty and charity. Through windows of your heated carriage, you observe neighbourhoods that exist beyond your normal experience. Narrow streets lined with shabby buildings, children in patched clothing playing in muddy courtyards, and shops selling goods that cater to customers with severely limited means. The contrast with your familiar world of elegant squares and well-maintained townhouses provides stark illustration of social divisions that structure Victorian society. Your father uses this journey to explain your family's charitable obligations and their importance to business success and social standing. The Blackwood name has been associated with St. Bartholomew's for 20 years, he explains, reviewing ledgers that record annual donations. Our support demonstrates Christian charity while building community relationships essential to banking interests. Moreover, the newspapers always report favourably on such activities, enhancing our reputation among potential clients and social peers. Arriving at the workhouse introduces you to institutional poverty managed by Victorian charitable systems. The grey stone building, 4 stories high with small windows and an atmosphere of cheerless efficiency, represents society's solution to problems of destitution and social disorder. Your entrance, announced by Mr. Penge, the workhouse superintendent, creates excitement among inmates who view your family's annual visit as the highlight of their institutional year. The assembled workhouse children, arranged in precise rows wearing identical grey uniforms, represent humanity reduced to institutional uniformity. Their pale faces, thin bodies, and careful attention to your every movement provide sobering contrast to your own robust health and colourful clothing. These children, some as young as 5 or 6, some approaching the age when they'll be sent into domestic service, represent the Victorian poor, reduced to objects of charity, rather than individuals with hopes and dreams. Your role in the gift distribution ceremony combines gracious charity with subtle displays of social superiority. Standing beside your father as he presents each child with their Christmas orange, you observe faces that express gratitude mixed with curiosity about your obvious privilege. When called upon to distribute additional small gifts, perhaps ribbons for girls or marbles for boys, you practice the gracious condescension that upper-class ladies employ in charitable work. The brief interactions with individual children provide glimpses into lives shaped by poverty and institutional control. A girl named Martha, perhaps 10 years old, with intelligent eyes and careful manners, curtsies perfectly when receiving her orange, but studies your elegant dress with obvious fascination. A boy called Tom maintains dignified composure despite obvious hunger, while younger children stare with wonder at your fur muff and silk-lined cape that represent luxury beyond their imagination. Your mother uses these encounters to teach lessons about grateful acceptance of good fortune, combined with charitable responsibility toward unfortunates. We are blessed with advantages, she explains quietly, that create obligations to help those less fortunate. However, we must remember that charity should maintain appropriate distinctions between classes while providing necessary assistance to the deserving poor. The workhouse tour, conducted by Mr. Penge with obvious pride in institutional efficiency, reveals living conditions that shock you despite preparation for encountering poverty. Dormitories with narrow beds arranged in military rows, workshops where children perform labour that contributes to institutional expenses, and dining halls where sparse meals are consumed in silence, demonstrate how Victorian society manages its unwanted populations through systematic control rather than genuine care. Your questions about daily routines reveal the vast gulf between your experience and that of institutional children. While you wonder about recreational activities, you learn that workhouse children work from dawn to dusk with brief periods for basic education and supervised exercise. Their single substantial meal occurs on Christmas Day, while your family consumes elaborate dinners nightly. Their single annual gift contrasts with your rooms full of presents, books, toys and clothing that represent casual abundance rather than treasured luxuries. The afternoon of Boxing Day transforms your family's drawing room into a salon that showcases Victorian high culture while providing sophisticated entertainment for guests representing London's intellectual and artistic elite. Unlike morning charitable activities that demonstrate your family's social obligations, afternoon entertainments celebrate the cultural refinement that distinguishes truly elite families from merely wealthy merchants or industrialists who lack comparable artistic sophistication. Your preparation for hosting afternoon guests requires careful attention to appearance that communicates both cultural sophistication and appropriate youthful charm. Your afternoon dress, selected specifically for receiving artists and intellectuals, features deep sapphire blue silk, with intricate beadwork that catches light from the drawing room's crystal chandeliers. The cut reflects current fashion while maintaining modesty appropriate for a young lady, while accessories, your grandmother's sapphire brooch and matching earrings, add elegance without overwhelming your youthful features. The drawing room itself has been arranged to showcase your family's cultural treasures while providing appropriate settings for artistic performances. Your mother's collection of watercolours, featuring works by contemporary artists whose careers your family has supported, creates artistic focal points that demonstrate aesthetic sensibility combined with financial patronage. The grand piano, positioned to take advantage of the room's exceptional acoustics, awaits performances that will feature both professional musicians and your own contributions to the afternoon's entertainment. Your guests represent the cultural elite that wealthy Victorian families cultivate to demonstrate sophistication beyond mere commercial success. Professor Wellington from Oxford arrives with his wife, Lady Margaret, bringing intellectual gravitas and social connections that enhance your family's cultural credibility. Madame Petrova, the Russian pianist whose London concerts your parents sponsor, provides artistic celebrity that attracts other culturally sophisticated attendees, while young Lord Hamilton represents the aristocratic connections that business success alone cannot purchase. The afternoon's entertainment program demonstrates your family's commitment to cultural patronage, while showcasing your own accomplishments as evidence of proper education and natural refinement. Your performance of a Chopin nocturne, carefully prepared with your music master's guidance, provides evidence of serious musical training while entertaining guests whose appreciation reflects their own cultural sophistication. The polite applause and thoughtful comments that follow demonstrate both your technical progress and your developing stage presence. Professional performances elevate the afternoon beyond amateur entertainment to approach salon quality that rivals London's most prestigious cultural gatherings. Madame Petrova's interpretation of Bach's Goldberg Variations transforms your drawing room into a concert hall, while her subsequent performance of contemporary Russian compositions introduces your guests to musical innovations that demonstrate your family's awareness of current artistic developments. These performances provide cultural education while establishing your home as a destination for serious music lovers. Literary discussions, led by Professor Wellington and featuring newly published works by authors your family supports, provide intellectual stimulation that distinguishes these gatherings from mere social visits. Current topics might include Tennyson's recent poetry, new archaeological discoveries in Egypt, or philosophical debates about scientific discoveries that challenge traditional religious beliefs. Your participation in these discussions, carefully guided by your governess's educational program, demonstrates intellectual development appropriate to your social position. Art appreciation activities showcase your family's growing collection while providing educational experiences that develop your aesthetic sensibilities. Your mother's recent acquisition, a watercolour by Turner featuring a Mediterranean sunset, becomes the centrepiece for discussions about contemporary British art and its relationship to continental movements. Your own attempts at watercolour painting, displayed alongside professional works with appropriate modesty, demonstrate your developing artistic abilities while showing guests your comprehensive cultural education. The afternoon tea service represents domestic artistry that combines hospitality with display of family resources and refined taste. Served on china, specially commissioned from Wedgwood, featuring your family's monogram, the service includes delicacies prepared by your family's French cook, petits fours decorated with crystallized flowers, sandwiches featuring exotic ingredients, and confections that demonstrate both culinary sophistication and substantial expense. The silver tea service polished to mirror brightness and arranged with mathematical precision, provides appropriate settings for afternoon refreshments. Conversation during tea reveals the intellectual and social networks that connect London's cultural elite, teaching you valuable lessons about relationships that extend beyond mere social visiting to encompass patronage, artistic collaboration, and intellectual exchange. Discussions might reveal plans for new artistic ventures, recommendations for promising young artists worthy of support, or invitations to private exhibitions and performances that provide exclusive cultural experiences unavailable to general public audiences. Your role as young hostess develops social skills essential for your future position in elite society, while providing current entertainment for sophisticated guests. Your ability to engage professors in intelligent discussion about their research, to ask thoughtful questions about artistic techniques, and to express appropriate appreciation for musical performances demonstrates educational progress, while charming adults who will remember your family favorably in future business and social interactions. The afternoon's conclusion, marked by guests' departure in elegant carriages and expressions of satisfaction with both entertainment and hospitality, provides evidence of successful cultural networking that enhances your family's social position. These gatherings create relationships that transcend mere business connections to encompass artistic collaboration, intellectual exchange, and social alliances that provide advantages unavailable to families whose wealth lacks comparable cultural refinement. As Boxing Day evening settles over London, you retreat to your nursery for quiet reflection on Christmas experiences that have revealed both the extent of your privileges and your family's position within Victorian society's complex hierarchies. The fire crackling in your marble fireplace provides warmth and light that create perfect conditions for contemplating events that have filled these magical holiday days, with experiences ranging from personal abundance to encounters with institutional poverty. Your evening routine begins with the luxurious ritual of preparing for sleep that highlights the comfort and attention you accept as normal aspects of daily life. Sarah draws your bath, adding lavender oil to water, heated by servants in basement boilers, and maintained at perfect temperature through careful additions of hot water from copper jugs. The marble bathroom, warmed by steam and heated by radiating pipes, provides privacy and luxury that most Victorian children could never imagine experiencing. Your nightgown, crafted from silk so fine it feels like captured moonlight against your skin, represents casual luxury that costs more than most families earn in months. As Sarah brushes your hair with ivory-handled brushes and arranges your curls for comfortable sleeping, you review Christmas experiences that have combined personal pleasure with educational encounters designed to prepare you for future responsibilities as a member of Britain's social elite. The contrast between your Christmas morning abundance and the workhouse children's excitement over single oranges creates profound impressions that will influence your understanding of social responsibility throughout your adult life. Martha's careful preservation of orange peel for lasting fragrance, Tom's dignity despite obvious hunger, and the younger children's wonder at your elegant clothing provide sobering reminders that your comfortable existence depends on social systems that create vast differences in life opportunities and daily experiences. Your Christmas gifts, arranged throughout your nursery as evidence of parental love combined with unlimited resources, represent casual abundance that poor children could never imagine possessing. The doll from Paris with her elaborate wardrobe, the watercolours with professional quality brushes, the books bound in Morocco leather, and the jewellery appropriate for young ladies create displays of wealth that exceed most families' annual incomes while representing normal Christmas expectations for children of your social class. The educational aspects of your Christmas experiences, from musical performances that demonstrate cultural refinement to charitable visits that teach social responsibility, reveal the comprehensive preparation your family provides for your future role in elite society. These lessons, disguised as entertainment and family traditions, actually constitute systematic training in the skills, knowledge, and attitudes necessary for maintaining your family's social position across future generations. Your reflection on afternoon entertainments reveals the cultural sophistication that distinguishes truly elite families from merely wealthy individuals who lack comparable artistic education and aesthetic sensibility. The professional musical performances, intellectual discussions led by university professors, and art appreciation activities that filled your drawing room demonstrate your family's commitment to cultural patronage that creates social connections, unavailable through business relationships alone. The servants who have made your Christmas celebrations possible, from Cook's elaborate meal preparations to Sarah's careful attention to your personal needs, represent invisible labor that maintains your comfort while Hasivet, remaining largely unnoticed in your daily experience. Boxing Day's gift-giving ceremonies provided rare glimpses into lives of people whose work enables your privileged existence, while their obvious gratitude for small presents reveals economic relationships that structure your household's operations. Your mother's lessons about charitable responsibility, delivered during workhouse visits and reinforced through family discussions, introduce complex concepts about social obligation that wealthy families bear toward less fortunate members of society. These teachings emphasize both genuine concern for unfortunate individuals and recognition that charitable activities enhance your family's reputation while maintaining social distinctions that preserve existing hierarchies. The intellectual stimulation provided by afternoon guests, professors, artists, and cultural leaders who frequent your family's salon creates educational opportunities that extend far beyond formal lessons with your governess. These encounters with London's cultural elite provide models for sophisticated conversation, introduce current artistic and intellectual developments, and create relationships that will serve throughout your life in upper-class society. Your developing understanding of your privileged position combines gratitude for advantages you've received with growing awareness of responsibilities that accompany such benefits. The contrast between your abundant Christmas experiences and the institutional poverty you've observed creates moral complexity that will influence your future approaches to charity, social responsibility, and relationships with individuals from different social classes. As you drift towards sleep, surrounded by luxury that represents normal rather than extraordinary aspects of your daily life, Christmas memories create lasting impressions that will shape your expectations for all future holiday celebrations. The abundance, cultural refinement, social connections, and charitable obligations that have defined these magical days establish patterns that you'll maintain and transmit to your own children when you assume your adult role in Victorian high society. The conclusion of Boxing Day marks not the end of your Christmas season, but merely the beginning of extended celebrations that will continue through Twelfth Night and into New Year festivities, demonstrating how wealthy Victorian families transform brief holidays into extended seasons of entertainment, cultural activity, and social display. Your family's approach to the 12 days of Christmas creates nearly 2 weeks of special activities that reinforce your privileged position while providing comprehensive education in elite social customs. Your morning awakening on the 27th of December reveals that Christmas magic continues through careful planning and unlimited resources that maintain festive atmosphere long after poor families have returned to normal survival routines. The breakfast room, still decorated with evergreen garlands and winter flowers that servants refresh daily, provides elegant settings for family meals that continue featuring special holiday foods, imported fruits, elaborate pastries, and delicacies that transform ordinary morning meals into celebrations of abundance and refined taste. The social calendar for the remaining Christmas season fills with activities that demonstrate your family's extensive connections within London's elite society, while providing educational experiences that develop your understanding of upper-class customs and expectations. Daily social visits, both made and received, create opportunities to display Christmas finery while observing how other wealthy families celebrate the extended holiday season. These exchanges teach complex etiquette governing social relationships while reinforcing your family's position within established hierarchies. Your continuing education throughout the Christmas season adapts regular lessons to holiday themes while maintaining intellectual rigor appropriate for young ladies of your social class. Miss Hartford incorporates Christmas literature, seasonal geography, and holiday history into daily instruction, while special activities include copying favorite poems into beautifully illustrated journals and creating watercolor paintings that capture Christmas scenes from memory. These educational projects demonstrate accomplishments while creating lasting mementos of holiday experiences. Musical activities intensify during the extended Christmas season as your family participates in and hosts performances that showcase both professional talent and amateur accomplishments. Your daily practice with Signor Benedetti prepares new pieces for upcoming social gatherings, while attendance at professional concerts and opera performances provides cultural education that distinguishes your family from merely wealthy individuals who lack comparable artistic sophistication. The arrival of extended family members for extended holiday visits transforms your mansion into a hub of upper-class social activity that provides lessons in hospitality, family relationships, and the management of complex household operations. Cousins from Yorkshire and Scotland bring news of country estate management, while elderly relatives share family history and social connections that span generations of accumulated wealth and influence. These gatherings teach you about family traditions, while providing models for future entertaining. Daily carriage rides through London during the Christmas season provide opportunities to observe holiday celebrations across different social classes, while reinforcing your understanding of the privileges that distinguish your experience from that of ordinary families. Street vendors selling roasted chestnuts, working-class families in their holiday best attending free Christmas entertainments, and middle-class shoppers examining goods in store windows create panoramas of Victorian holiday life that exist far below your social level. Your wardrobe for the extended Christmas season requires careful planning that demonstrates both fashion sense and appropriate respect for holiday traditions. Different occasions demand specific outfits: morning dresses for family breakfasts, afternoon costumes for social visits, evening gowns for formal entertainments, and specialized outfits for specific activities like skating parties or pantomime attendance. Each ensemble communicates your family's wealth while maintaining age-appropriate charm that charms adult observers. The kitchen operations during extended Christmas celebrations provide glimpses into domestic management that creates seamless luxury through coordinated efforts of skilled servants working under your mother's supervision. Daily menus feature seasonal specialties, imported delicacies, and elaborate preparations that maintain holiday atmosphere while accommodating various social obligations and entertainment requirements. These behind-the-scenes activities teach you about household management that you'll need in your future role as mistress of your own elegant establishment. New Year preparations begin during the final days of Christmas season, creating additional opportunities for celebration while introducing different traditions that mark temporal transitions with appropriate ceremony. Your family's approach to New Year entertaining combines reflection on the passing year's accomplishments with anticipation of future opportunities, creating educational experiences that teach you about goal setting, family planning, and social advancement strategies that maintain elite status across changing circumstances. The planning process for New Year entertainments demonstrates your family's systematic approach to social success through careful attention to guest lists, menu selection, entertainment programming, and decorative themes that create memorable experiences for carefully selected invitees. Your participation in these planning activities teaches valuable lessons about social strategy while providing practical experience in entertainment management that you'll employ throughout your adult life. Your personal New Year preparations include reflection on Christmas experiences that have provided both pleasure and education, while setting goals for continued development in accomplishments appropriate for young ladies of quality. These resolutions might include advancing musical studies, improving artistic techniques, expanding literary knowledge, or developing charitable interests that demonstrate social consciousness appropriate to your privileged position. The extended Christmas season provides intensive cultural education that distinguishes your upbringing from that of children whose families lack comparable resources and aesthetic sophistication. Your daily schedule during these holiday weeks includes exposure to literature, music, visual arts, and intellectual discourse that create comprehensive cultural foundation essential for your future participation in London's most refined social circles. Your literary education during Christmas holidays extends beyond regular lessons to include exposure to seasonal works by contemporary authors whose careers your family supports through patronage and social connections. Reading sessions in your family's library, surrounded by leather-bound volumes that represent centuries of accumulated knowledge, introduce you to Christmas stories by Charles Dickens, seasonal poetry by Tennyson, and holiday essays by writers whose personal acquaintance your parents cultivate through salon entertainments and cultural gatherings. These literary experiences provide more than entertainment. They offer sophisticated analysis of social conditions, moral questions, and artistic techniques that develop your critical thinking abilities while exposing you to viewpoints that extend beyond your immediate social circle. Discussions with Miss Hartford about Dickens's portrayal of poverty, for example, create opportunities to consider social questions raised by your workhouse visits while maintaining appropriate distance from potentially disturbing realities of institutional life. Musical education intensifies during Christmas holidays through exposure to professional performances that showcase both classical traditions and contemporary innovations. Your attendance at opera performances at Covent Garden, chamber music concerts in elegant private venues, and carol services featuring elaborate choral arrangements provide cultural experiences that develop aesthetic sensibilities while demonstrating your family's sophisticated taste and social connections within London's artistic community. Your own musical development continues through daily practice sessions with professional instructors whose guidance reflects standards expected of accomplished young ladies from elite families. Advanced piano techniques, vocal training that develops both technical precision and interpretive sensitivity, and introduction to chamber music Collaboration with visiting professional musicians create comprehensive musical education that exceeds amateur accomplishments while maintaining appropriate modesty about your developing talents. Visual arts education during Christmas holidays includes studio visits to prominent artists whose work your family collects, attendance at gallery exhibitions featuring contemporary British and continental paintings, and hands-on instruction in watercolour techniques that develop both technical skills and aesthetic appreciation. These experiences provide cultural sophistication that distinguishes your education from that available to children from less privileged backgrounds, while creating lifelong appreciation for artistic beauty and intellectual stimulation. Your own artistic development continues through daily drawing and painting sessions that develop technical abilities while encouraging creative expression appropriate to your social position. Projects might include copying masterwork details to develop observational skills, creating original compositions that demonstrate artistic sensibility, and illustrating favorite literary passages that combine visual and verbal artistic appreciation. These activities develop accomplishments that will serve throughout your life while providing current pleasure and intellectual stimulation. Intellectual discourse during holiday family gatherings exposes you to adult conversations about current political, social, and cultural developments that affect your family's business interests and social position. Carefully monitored participation in these discussions teaches you to express opinions intelligently while maintaining appropriate deference to adult authority and superior knowledge. These conversations develop analytical thinking skills while providing education about complex social and economic relationships that structure Victorian society. Foreign language instruction continues during Christmas holidays through conversations with visiting relatives who maintain international connections, correspondence with foreign artists and intellectuals whom your family supports, and reading assignments in French and German that expose you to continental cultural developments. These language skills provide practical advantages for future travel and social connections, while demonstrating sophisticated education that distinguishes your family from merely wealthy individuals who lack comparable intellectual accomplishments. Cultural appreciation activities include attendance at theatrical performances that showcase both classical drama and contemporary innovations, visits to museums and private collections that display artistic treasures from various historical periods and geographic regions, and participation in cultural societies that bring together London's most sophisticated families for intellectual and artistic pursuits. These experiences create comprehensive cultural education while establishing social connections that will serve throughout your life. Your developing cultural sophistication combines technical accomplishments with aesthetic sensibility that reflects both natural talent and systematic education, designed to prepare you for leadership in London's cultural community. The combination of professional instruction, exposure to masterworks, and opportunities for creative expression creates educational foundation that exceeds anything available to children from less privileged backgrounds, while preparing you for lifelong participation in artistic and intellectual pursuits. The educational philosophy underlying your cultural training emphasizes both personal development and social responsibility. The idea that privileges create obligations to support artistic and intellectual activities that benefit society, while maintaining cultural standards that distinguish civilization from barbarism. These concepts, introduced through carefully selected experiences and guided discussions, create moral framework that will influence your future approaches to patronage, charity, and cultural leadership. As the Christmas season draws toward its conclusion with Twelfth Night celebrations, you find yourself in quiet moments of reflection that reveal growing awareness of your privileged position within Victorian society and the responsibilities that accompany such advantages. These contemplative periods, occurring in the luxury of your heated nursery, surrounded by evidence of your family's wealth and cultural refinement, mark important stages in your development toward understanding the complex relationships between privilege, obligation, and social leadership. Your Christmas experiences have provided comprehensive education about social hierarchies through direct encounters with individuals from vastly different circumstances. The contrast between your abundant gift receiving and the workhouse children's reverent gratitude for single oranges creates lasting impressions about economic inequality, while your family's charitable activities demonstrate approaches to social responsibility that combine genuine concern with practical considerations about maintaining existing social structures. The educational value of these experiences extends beyond immediate moral lessons to include sophisticated understanding of how wealth, cultural refinement, and social connections create and maintain elite status across generations. Your parents' approach to Christmas celebrations, combining personal pleasure with charitable obligations, cultural patronage, and strategic social networking, provides practical instruction in the complex skills required for successful participation in Victorian high society. Your developing sense of social responsibility reflects both genuine empathy for less fortunate individuals and systematic education about the obligations that wealthy families bear towards society. The concept of noblesse oblige, introduced through charitable visits and reinforced through family discussions, creates moral framework that emphasizes both privilege and duty, while maintaining clear distinctions between social classes that preserve existing hierarchical structures. Your artistic and intellectual development during Christmas season demonstrates comprehensive cultural education that distinguishes truly elite families from merely wealthy individuals who lack comparable sophistication. The combination of professional instruction, exposure to masterworks, and opportunities for creative expression creates foundation for lifelong participation in cultural activities, while preparing you for potential leadership in artistic and intellectual communities. Your understanding of family traditions and their importance in maintaining social position reveals sophisticated appreciation for how customs, celebrations, and social rituals reinforce elite status while creating shared experiences that bond families across generations. Christmas celebrations serve multiple functions, providing personal pleasure, demonstrating wealth and taste, maintaining social connections, and transmitting cultural values that ensure continuity of family prominence. Your reflection on household management during Christmas season provides practical education about the systems that maintain upper-class comfort through coordinated efforts of numerous servants whose labour creates seamless luxury. Understanding these domestic operations prepares you for future responsibilities as mistress of your own elegant establishment, while teaching appreciation for skilled service that makes privileged life possible. Your growing awareness of economic relationships that structure Victorian society includes understanding of how your family's banking business creates wealth that supports both personal luxury and charitable activities. These business operations, glimpsed through adult conversations and family planning sessions, reveal complex connections between commercial success, social responsibility, and cultural patronage that define elite participation in national economic and social systems. Your developing social skills, refined through numerous holiday interactions with adults from various elite backgrounds, demonstrate progress towards sophisticated conversation abilities, cultural appreciation, and gracious behavior that will serve throughout your life in upper-class society. These accomplishments, combined with artistic and intellectual achievements, create comprehensive preparation for future social leadership while maintaining appropriate modesty about personal advantages. Your Christmas season experiences have revealed the extent of resources available to your family, while teaching valuable lessons about their appropriate use for personal development, family advancement, cultural patronage, and social benefit. These lessons create moral foundation that emphasizes both privilege and responsibility while preparing you for future decision-making about resource allocation and social obligation. Your understanding of your unique position within Victorian society combines gratitude for extraordinary advantages with growing appreciation of responsibilities that accompany such benefits. The contrast between your abundant Christmas experiences and the institutional poverty you've observed creates lasting impressions that will influence your future approaches to charity, social reform, and relationships with individuals from different backgrounds. As you prepare for sleep on Twelfth Night, surrounded by luxury that represents normal rather than exceptional aspects of your daily experience, Christmas memories create comprehensive education about privilege, responsibility, and social leadership that will shape your development toward becoming an accomplished and conscientious member of Britain's social elite. Your Christmas story represents preparation for a lifetime of opportunities and obligations that distinguish your experience from that of ordinary individuals while creating foundation for meaningful contribution to society's cultural and moral development. The abundance, refinement, social connections, and educational opportunities that have defined your Christmas season establish patterns and expectations that will influence all future celebrations while preparing you for adult responsibilities that combine personal fulfillment with social leadership in Victorian Britain's complex and hierarchical society.